Alright, I think we are live. It's not quite Ficsmas yet, but I don't care because I want to get this done before December, or at least try to. Giant Ficsmas tree. Part, well, I guess 1. Although not really. I guess this is also basically leaking all the progress I've actually done in real time. Actually, I should refill on ionized fuel. I forgot. Seeing how it's really useful. I'm gonna lower this a bit. I mean, either way, the normal game music now, we're just gonna decide to just freaking make it useless. Alright, there you go. Obviously, still gathering coupons for the golden nut statue, so may as well work on this in the meantime, while I have to wait for 7 quintillion different things to produce. Boom. Bunch of rockets, bunch of AI expansion servers. Still on a dark matter crystal shortage. No biggie. Turn this back on. I'll turn it back off when I get back. For this, I need to go all the way to my oil plant, I believe, because I don't think my ionized fuel is belted back yet. I don't think I ended up doing that. Not to mention, the performance is so much better. This isn't going to the oil, is it? Not like I'm gonna actually manage to get on it. Having actually 60 frames is really enjoyable. This is aluminum, probably. Yep. Well, compacted coal belt riding it is. That's the rocket fuel belt. There you go. Ionized fuel is basically infinitely. It burns for basically forever, which is why I want to use it. Rocket fuel is good, but it burns too quick. It's kind of like turbo fuel. Burns a bit too quick for this scale of a build. But ionized fuel, you can travel half the map on one freaking refill. $400 more. Nice. And it's waiting on that machine that I had paused to get more dark matter crystals towards the stupid ballistic missiles or whatever. Ballistic warp drives. Whatever the last thing of the space elevator parts is. Can't search for it while on inside of a train. The ballistic warp drive, I believe it's called. Yeah, ballistic warp drive. These are worth like 3 million points each towards coupons, so I've still been making them. The expansion servers are like 600,000, I want to say. I do kind of regret putting street lights on my railways, because you can't jump while on top of the trains. And you can't really see much of anything while on top of the meter. Which is a bit inconvenient, but I guess it's one of those things where it's like, well, now I know, so won't do it again. How much ionized fuel have we got in total? Like 700? Yeah. That should be plenty. Trains are loud. But then again, they've always been really annoyingly loud. I wonder if the Mark 6 belt is faster. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is. The Mark 6 belt is faster than a train. Well, what's the point of train travel at this point if I'm just wasting my time? Alright, squeeze on through here. It's not like this base is small. You can basically fit anywhere. Go all the way up to here. I almost didn't make it there. And I got yeeted in a really awkward spot. You're not supposed to go up. Either way, it doesn't matter. Throw all this extra crap in here. That's that. Okay, there we go. Climbs to hell. 15 more coupons. It's going up. It's not going up quick, but it's going up. Alright, let's actually get to the Ficsmas tree. Which is more of a railmas tree, because the green is going to come from freight cars. Loaded freight cars, to be exact. Which is going to absolutely implode the game, but I do not care. Because this is probably not going to play the game after building this thing much. Like, obviously, I probably will still play the game, but by that point I'll probably have dismantled some of the trains. Only part of it still exists. Climbing this thing is really annoying. I should make a hypertube that goes up for now. See a giant space elevator still up there, just peeking. I love YouTube yapping that 1440p is not supported, but letting me do it anyway. That is my favorite kind of warning. It's like, hey, please don't do that, you need to change it, and then it lets me do it anyway, so I don't care. It's not like I don't have the Wi-Fi to stream at 1440p anyways. I'd hope I'd have enough to stream at 1440p now that I have freaking like 700 megabit Ethernet instead of like freaking 30 megabit Wi-Fi. And now it's going to be placing rails for a long time. Because that's basically the Ficsmas tree life. This is going to be way too long for the max rail length, but can't really get more pillars than this, unfortunately, so it's just going to have to do. In fact, let's find out how far down we can go like this. Because Because eventually it's gonna start basically becoming a square. Because these straight bits are gonna have to get longer and longer and longer, so more of it's gonna be like squared off. Which is a bit annoying, but it's the only way to do this big of a circle not modded. Not to mention this many different circle diameters not modded. Did I even place that right? Oh, I did. Nice. I love how much you can see from up here. It's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. Frame rate does not care much. I'm seeing as low as 40, which is like still exceptional. Especially considering I've got like probably easily 170,000 entities all rendered in at once. Still have to remove this kind of test layer I did. I was gonna do it and then I kind of just forgot and then I never did. I'll have to do it eventually, because yeah. But it's probably gonna be squared off about that much towards the bottom, because doing this unmodded, basically impossible. And I don't want to do it modded, so it's about as best of a circle as we're gonna get going on later. Too many different diameters to keep it a perfect circle at every level without mods. Not to mention this, because it obviously has to climb up somehow. I mean, I could make it so that, like, all the trains just stay, like, not moving, and then they're obviously loaded, so the freight car is the light source. I'm pretty sure you can, well, maybe you can't fully paint them, but still, you get the point. The freight car is going to be the trees green. That's the best way I can think of doing this. With trains, at least, because I want to be able to have a train riding around it. We're good up to at least 2,500 freight cars, so not too worried about freight car count, since I've proven myself that I can and my computer can run up to 2,500 before I stopped caring. So I'm not worried about the game not being able to handle it. Although this is probably going to be more than that. But it should be fine. Maybe. Unless they eventually bring back the hard-coded limit. Like they had in Unreal Engine 4, which was 700 freight cars. The game crashed itself, so you couldn't go any higher. So it's not like the game crashed because it couldn't handle it, it's just it was programmed to crash at 700. This is working surprisingly well. It's gonna get problematic when we can't really easily make curves anymore. because I don't want to use modded railways either. So obviously, the railways can only get so long. Like, I mean, this is too long to even reach, but like, this is not gonna work. Like, already here, we're basically pushing it a bit. So that's gonna be fun to figure out. I want to see how far right now I can go down before it starts being a problem, which these are probably about the last layers. For, I'm assuming we're gonna have to start extending this out 2 each time, instead of 1 each time on each direction. And then keep doing that until we reach all the way to the bottom. I always forget to do this one. I put the foundations and then forget to put the railway, so I have to come all the way back up. And I screwed it up. First screw up of the day. Probably still another 3 million to go. Obviously this bit's gonna look goofier than the others. How many pieces was that? How many steel beams? It usually dies at like, okay, yeah, that's about as far as it's gonna get. Because I remember 7 being about the max, and this is 8. So that's probably about as long as each curve can be. Now just to do all the other flat ones, which usually are a bit shorter. If the tornadoid is anything to go by. Well, I hate that the foundations aren't the same. Also, this fog up here is really annoying. But I hate that the foundation texture is not actually a square. Well, it's like the outline's a square, obviously, but like it's not the same. The pattern isn't the same on both sides, so sometimes it can be really confusing to find the center of it. Because depending on the rotation of the foundation, the center is either here or aligned with the... It's either misaligned or aligned, depending on which rotation it's on. So it can get really confusing sometimes. The center railways. See this one, it's misaligned. But if I build railways like this instead, then it'll be aligned. Or not, because these aren't rotated the same direction. You get the point. Depending on the rotation, it's annoying to line up. And I put these in an annoying rotation, so... See, this one's easier because I just have to stretch it out right to the line. And that's the center. Whereas if I was going this way, I'd have to go in between. So misalign it, which would be the center. See, this one's done right as well, so from line to line. Yeah, I know I could disable the fog, I just don't feel like it. There's so little of it now, and it's only like in this weird spot. If you go higher up, it stops. There's like a couple meters of fog still left from the old fog, because obviously the height limit is nowhere near where it used to be. It is infinitely higher. This is over 1,000 meters up. Before this biome was basically the height limit. And I like that, because the height limit isn't always in the way anymore. I actually ran into the fog while building my base. There's like 2 spots where the fog is still in by accident, I believe. It's probably not intentional. There's a weird spot like at probably like 200 meters up, and then there's this one which is like not as bad but still there. I believe it's probably where the fog used to start, and used to end is where the 2 are, so this one would be where it used to end. Because there was a point where it did end. I never reached it because the insta-kill was before it, but there is a spot where it used to end. And then obviously the spot where it used to start, which I believe is about halfway up my base. If I recall correctly, is about where the fog starts. This might actually end up going faster than I would have expected. I mean, obviously these are the small floors, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and about to be 8 in 20 minutes. That 20 minutes includes an ionized fuel refill trip, so 10 minutes? Okay, probably 15, but like... I expected this to take longer. But that's probably because last time I did it, I was at 20 FPS, so it was much more annoying to do precise movements. Like, I remember it took like a minute per rail segment because it was damn near impossible to line them up. It's crazy to think that multi-core spreading caused this big of a performance increase. Because that's literally all they changed. If I pull up Task Manager, the only change they made is that the game spreads load better. Every core is actually used now instead of like 2, 3. And the performance like 8x'd instantly. It's truly miracle work. I'm surprised some people still argue that multi-core is worse because of scheduling. Yeah, scheduling can introduce a bit more stuttering, but the performance gain is way worth the stuttering. Like, I can see it starting to micro stutter a bit. It's definitely noticeable. It might even be worse on the stream, I don't know. Oh yeah, it is definitely worse on the stream a little bit. You can see it way better. Unless that's just OBS lagging. Hard to tell. My OBS has always been whack, so it's not the most reliable. But then again, I never update it, because every time I update it, something seems to break. So I've stopped updating it, because it just works. Same for my editing software. I haven't updated it because it still works as is, and I don't need any of the new AI garbage. So why have it? The annoying thing is I don't have a good way to test this. Like, I want to ride up the rail, but obviously the rail isn't powered. And I don't think I have power anywhere near here. Nearest power grid is probably there. I think that Pat Bridge, yeah, that Pat Bridge has power. I don't think there's power anywhere else. And plus I'd have to squeeze a train station somewhere around here. I should have checked how much railway length I had before this, so I can know the exact amount of kilometers of railway this thing is. I have so much rocket fuel I'm not going to use now. I guess I could use it for a bit. I don't need to ionize fuel unless I'm doing long travel distances. I may as well get rid of this rocket fuel. Because like I had to get rid of all my old fuels because I was at the point where I had every kind of jetpack fuel in my inventory at once. Which was just an absolute inventory space waste. Yeah, here's that fog zone. Starts again here. It's so minimal up here though that it's not a huge deal. Just like adds a gray shade to everything, which is odd. It's not like the old fog where you couldn't even see your feet if you look straight down. Actually, out of curiosity, Kuroi, do you use the hotbar? I don't use it much for anything other than belts and power poles, and everyone judges me for that, but I've just gotten so good at menuing that I don't feel it's worth making the change. How do you feel about the hotbar? So many floors still left to go. Probably not gonna finish this tonight, but still. Gonna give it like probably a good 3 hours. Maybe not. There's no point in hard rushing it. Because now that the foundations are mostly down, it's just a thing of time. But most of this isn't hard to do. Is that a Sam node over there? It is. You can see them so well from up high. Like, I'm pretty sure there's one... Oh, never mind, I think it's hidden from over here. But there's one over there, there's... I can see a lot of the grasslands one from the roof of my base. There's one... like somewhere in the middle. There's one up there. There's one that way somewhere. There's the one in the cave, obviously. There's like 2 more on the mountaintops over there. There's so many around. Obviously, there's way more on that end of the map. Yeah, that one, which is hidden. There's the one up here. There's the one I have, which is underground. There's one here. I could see another one in the distance. I don't know which one there it was. But yeah, they're a bit everywhere. There's way more than I thought. I never finished this. That is why it's important to test your railways. Because I missed an entire segment. Yeah, I should probably test this thing. Okay, well, then that becomes a question of how do you get power up here? Fitting a station also is going to be annoying. I guess it doesn't matter how I do it. Really? It doesn't work? Or is it just not? Hey, place. They're just not wide enough. Yeah, that's the problem. What direction did I build it in? I think this way, just the sign is in the... yeah. The sign is further to the front, so... it's this direction, I'm guessing. Boom. Is that really too sharp? Oh, darn it. Okay, that should do. Now just to find a way to get powered all the way up here. Difficulty impossible. Trying to get power up 1,000 something meters. I'm gonna hook it up this way. I don't even know which... okay, this is the back. Starting to get confused with all the different angles. Okay. Convenient thing that I have power here. Just don't want to attract all the annoying wildlife in the process. Yeah, rocket fuel burn is so much bigger. it lasts like 3 times less long. You also burn through it insanely fast. Like, I probably go through like 500 rocket fuel per hour when I do something like this easily. I feel like you burn more of it than rocket fuel. Conveniently timed autosave once again. I don't know if the autosave changes when it happens, if you're not on ground or not. Because sometimes I'll be in midair and it feels like the autosave will hesitate until I touch ground. If there isn't a foundation or ground nearby below me, so like if I'm standing here, eventually it'll probably do it anyway, but sometimes it feels like the autosave waits for me to get on ground. I don't know if that's just me imagining or not, but definitely feels like sometimes the autosave waits a little bit. Okay, which end is connected? Or I guess I should say how far of it is connected. That height's connected. Okay, it's connected all the way to here. Well, if there's power here, that's a good start. Can I go all the way up, though? That's the ultimate question. This is already getting pretty long. Yeah, this thing is going to take a while to climb all the way up once it's done. Because obviously it's the opposite of the tornado, so it climbs up slow and then speeds up over time instead of climbing fast and then slowing down over time. I'm pretty sure it's also like at least twice as big as the tornado. Which, since it's a cone, that doesn't necessarily just mean it holds twice as much. Because obviously the rails are longer and longer each level. So I have no idea how much this thing's gonna hold. It probably... I mean, 5,000 would be ridiculous, but it would also probably not be that unreasonable. Maybe 3,000, 3,500. I don't know, or maybe I'm completely off. And this thing just feels way bigger than it is, even though it's huge. Okay, there's the station. And I forgot to fix the horns so you can honk again. And I remember last time I actually manually drove trains you couldn't honk. The ramps up are definitely pretty aggressive, but with the amount of mass all the freight trains are going to add, I'm not worried. There's obviously always going to be more freight car mass being leveled than going up, so it's going to kind of cancel out eventually after a certain length. It sure does take a while to climb. Although I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's all powered up. Still gonna go all the way so I can drive it down later. Almost at the top. Even these top levels are still pretty big. Just barely out of base loading range. Almost perfect parking. Alright, turn it around and then leave it there for whenever I need it next. That one's done. This side is not done. $700 meters. That's pretty tall. I'm pretty sure the space elevator, and by space elevator I mean from the base to the what was the original kind of giant end, is 600 meters. So from there to there, that is 600 meters. So even here to the ground of the pink area, that is still taller than the space elevator. So this thing is realistically almost 2 space elevators tall. I think. Because it's like a little over 1,000 meters, and 2 space elevators would be 1,200 meters. It's so close enough, realistically. I don't remember when Ficsmas starts exactly. I believe it's exactly on the 1st. But I never remember. Well, I mean, even if it technically starts on the 1st, it doesn't start until like halfway through December, because you can't do anything in the event until like 15th, 16th, and even then sometimes you still can't start by that point. I remember last year I couldn't even do it, even after the 24 days, because the calendar didn't give me the stuff to do it. And under a day, another tree level. I feel like these straights are starting to become quite long compared to even the downhills. Oops. Maybe the curves will end up being way longer after all. Still gonna start on the 1st. Yeah, probably. I'm still going to claim the rewards as they become available, but like, you can't do anything unless you cheat for like the first 2 weeks, which is kind of annoying. because the event's useless for like the first 2 weeks. But still nice to have Christmas trees get in the way every once in a while. Not Christmas trees, Christmas presents. I've been thinking about trees too much, and now I'm getting different Christmas things confused. Either way, I'm ready because I've already decorated and my computer's already set, or I should say my computer's RGB is already set to green and red, so I'm already ready for Christmas because I got bored of waiting. Yeah, that is getting pretty long. I don't remember the exact maximum. Generally, I say 7 is about the end, but it goes a bit further than that. So yeah, 9 is the max. So this is like literally the exact maximum. Pretty much. The reason I can't really do more pillars is because they don't line up properly. Like, doing control level rotations ends up not being the same. Like, you can't get in between, like, the rotation angle between these two. Even the precise control rotate doesn't let you get a perfect rotation so that each side is the same. It always goes a little bit too much to one side or the other. So unfortunately, I can't really add another set of foundations in between to keep it rounded for longer. But it is what it is. I'll figure it out, probably. Now that I'm seeing it so much, it's reminding me that I still need to finish these railways. I finished it up to like there, but the entire railway going all the way along around there, all the way to nuclear over there, is still unfinished. It only has one side done, and I'm pretty sure it still has no train signals. So now that I'm seeing it, it's becoming more and more annoying. But I also don't feel like doing it because there isn't a single train that actually goes that way. For whatever reason, I guess it's just less efficient than going all the way around. think that's the last level that's going to be actually rounded for the most part. Because I think this is about as long as it can go. Which is a bit unfortunate because we're still pretty high up to stop being round. Although I might not go all the way down to there. I might shrink it a bit because it is a bit close to the ground. And truth is, I don't think I need that many levels. It's a bit close to the ground, so it won't be really... I'm probably going to put a stump on it, so I'll probably decide at that point, but it is a bit low. So I might shave a couple layers off the bottom. It's not like it would be super problematic, because I'm pretty sure this thing goes like 50 foundations in every direction. Like the bottom pillar like this in every rotation is about 50, I believe. Like that stretch there is about 50, to stretch down and all the way there is about 50 if I remember correctly. It's something around that. So it's basically like 100 by 100, I believe. Which is definitely more than the tornado. The tornado held basically exactly 1,000. At least spotting the Ficsmas gifts that fall down won't be particularly hard, because just go on the top of this thing and then let them spawn. Alright, how am I going to do this? This is the point where things start getting really annoying. Is that going to be enough? Yes. Okay. Now, at each level, I'm gonna have to go extend it by one. That's placed round. Because of course it is. Am I going to have to go out one for every level, or will I be able to skip some? So if I stretch that a little bit, will I be able to do multiple of these in a row? Yes. I can probably do one more. I want to try and keep it as rounded as possible, but it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. The annoying thing is, because of how railways work, it's not like you can just use like a pixel circle generator either. I could for the foundations, but obviously the railways wouldn't follow the foundations. The road track is too long. Oh my god, it is so close though. Yeah, I can probably just stretch this one just the tiniest bit to make that possible. Just nudge it a bit further. There you go. No one's gonna know. Still need a lot more floors though. The freight cars are definitely still going to be the most tedious part because they're going to have to be filled up manually. And something that I didn't consider is if I want it to always move, it's going to have to go up and then back down, which I did not consider. But I can probably just get it to go down like on the center pillars, worst case, and just have it kind of spiral down as sharply as it can. If I really want to have it loop. The inside shouldn't be too visible anyways. I should really get headphones. Headphones are starting to be finicky. It's hard to tell if it's the wire, but either way, I believe it is the wire, but it's not like I can just get a replacement wire, I don't think, so. Even if they aren't worn out to the point where they're becoming uncomfortable, the wire's probably gonna give out beforehand from the amount of times it's been rolled over. Probably also doesn't help that I have a USB extension on it. So, not only are they probably running at a reduced amount of power, but the original cable is worn out to a point where it starts sputtering every once in a while depending on how you rotate it. Actually approaching the hour mark already. It's definitely not going quick, but it's been longer than I would have thought already. It feels like it's been a while, but not necessarily an hour. That's actually starting to look pretty good. I have to end up getting rid of these foundations though. They do look a little bit goofy. Wonder how it looks from the base. I mean, I guess it's not too hard to go see. You just have to get to the top. And then swap over to ionized fuel so I actually make it. It's not bad. Still looks like a cone. The rails honestly aren't super big, so they do kind of start becoming invisible after a bit, but heck, it's not terrible. Although from this far it definitely does start looking a bit hard to tell that it's rails. And then it starts doing that weird effect, which I'm pretty sure is from the foundation unloading system, so it's being caused by the fact that some of the foundations are unloading all the time as you move. So like, well, because I zoomed in, it's not really doing it much anymore, but it's still a cool pattern. But the further you get, the more it does it. It kind of starts sparkling a little bit, which is probably impossible to notice on YouTube compression, but still. In the game, it's definitely noticeable. You can see the foundations just constantly popping in and out. I'm gonna go turn off the ionized fuel productions, and clearly we're not going to need this much. There's plenty already. I'd rather have the dark matter crystals going towards coupons right now than towards ionized fuel. Because, yeah, we've only made 22 because there's a severe dark matter crystal shortage. Although now we've ran out of thermal propulsion rockets, which actually is not that surprising. Something that I never really saw coming was running out of smart plating. Because of how long it's been going for. Well, now there's some more buildup because I ran out of rubber, but I kept running out of smart plating. I went through all of the smart plating somehow that I had made. Which is crazy to go through 250 hours of smart plating production in a couple hours. Yeah, Golden Nut statue is getting closer. Still needed like 150 more. Yeah, pretty much. Also, I don't know why hard drives are so expensive in the Awesome Shop. They are not worth 100 coupons for one, in the slightest. All of the alt recipes left are so trash at this point. It's probably because I have most of them. I have 4 hard drives left, and there's like maybe 10 left on the map that I haven't gotten. I've gotten basically everything that's not in the swamp, I believe. I'm missing like a few in the Titan Forest. And I think I'm missing like one somewhere out here because it's like under a rock and I just don't care enough to go get harassed by elite gas stingers for 40 minutes. At least the power grid is staying alive without nuclear power, so it doesn't matter how long I spend doing this. I'm not going to end up with a waste problem, despite not having waste refinement. I should really get rid of this wall. I don't need it anymore. This was my amounts of items I needed for phase 4. Got all the tiers, so that's a good start. I've got everything but the Golden Nut statue at this point. It's just a waiting game. But I can work on the train project up until doing the trains before it's probably going to start lagging, so may as well get a bit ahead. I'm going to have to go down probably. I should make a hypertube room. Well, not even necessarily a hypertube room, but I should have a hypertube that goes down to each individual floor instead of all the way up or all the way down. It doesn't look too bad though. And from all the way out here it looks worse because of the LOD, but once you start getting closer it doesn't look terrible. Ionized fuel gets you just far enough to get all the way up here. It is impressive how long it burns for. Like, I'm so used to that, like, I'm sure going back to like turbo fuel would feel terrible. Going down to a 3-second burn time again. What is this? This is still 2. A lot of the new alt recipes are pretty decent. Or at least a lot of the ones I've gotten so far have been either okay or really good. So it's nice seeing that the alt recipes are almost always cheaper and better than the original. And in tier 9 that really shows. Because basically every alt for like ionized fuel gets rid of the power shard requirement. Because there's, well, one. And this is the one I'm using, gets rid of the power shard requirement. It uses a waste product to make fuel, so like infinitely better than making power shards. But you need time crystals on top of just the dark matter thingies, the dark matter crystals. Pretty sure it's the same thing for rocket fuel. Oh yeah, this thing doesn't have an alt recipe. Oh no, that's packaged rocket fuel, there you go. Natural rocket fuel is basically the stupid blended turbo fuel for rocket fuel. Uses nitrogen gas instead. Then what is this? Oh yeah, that's just a normal recipe, which is actually not terrible, although nitric acid, when you could have nitrogen gas, is kind of annoying. But yeah, a lot of these new recipes are pretty good. Where's Diamonds? Diamonds has a lot of good recipes. Of course, I forgot the A. Diamonds has a lot of alts and a lot of good ones at that. Cloudy Diamonds especially. I wish I would have used this alt recipe. Because I have way too much limestone lying around. Oil-based diamonds, I mean realistically it's not great because you probably are already using all the oil by this point. Petroleum diamonds kind of sucks. Pink diamonds isn't terrible. I mean, I definitely still have plenty of quartz around. Yeah. Like basically all the alt recipes in tier 9 are useful in one way or another for the most part. Which is definitely a change of feeling, because most of the other alt recipes for stuff are terrible. Like if I go motors, because I have a lot less alt annoying recipes than I thought. Or was it stators where I usually get... No, well, I know I always get like a bunch of terrible recipes involving those things. In fact, I saw one right there. Who in the right mind is going to use an electromagnetic control rod to make a motor? Although, it's not the absolute worst, it just adds AI limiters to the whole ordeal, which isn't great. Basically replaces something with deuterium, if I recall correctly, although I don't remember what. But that's what most of the alt recipes are. They reduce the amount of what you used to need the most in the original recipe, and generally replace it with something else. So that's why Cloudy Diamonds is so good. It replaces a lot of the coal you need with limestone, and you'll obviously have way more limestone to go around than you will coal. Even with the new coal. Because coal is still required for quite a decent amount of things. Like turbo fuel requires coal, and to get to the better fuels you need to make every previous fuel basically. In true railway fashion, these are starting to get pretty long again. It's definitely going to be interesting trying to... It's going to be fun seeing how long it takes to climb all the way up or all the way down. Down will probably be more fun, but I don't know if it'll hold speed. Because it's realistically probably flat for too long. I think I'm going to finish this height and then call it. Not that I don't want to go for a long time, but it's repetitive. And I know it's definitely not the most entertaining thing in the world to watch. But I do like streaming whenever I do stuff like this for a little bit every little while. Even if it's boring as all hell, I still do enjoy streaming some segments of it every once in a while, of the dumb things I do. Partially because you can look back on them, but also because it gives a pretty good example of what it's like to do these dumb projects. Like, I could stream the entirety of this, but I think from this hour-long segment we've done so far, you can kind of understand the gist by now that it's literally just spinning in circles, making railways. It's kind of the same thing for the tornado. I streamed a bit at like the halfway point, and then I didn't until the final video, which I made and then never finished. I could have probably made a small scale version of this to see how it would have turned out, fully done as a smaller scale, before making it this huge. But don't exactly do things the smart way. Oh god, this does not reach at all. Oh, because these aren't long enough at all. What am I doing? Still over here making freaking old style linked railways. Like a dum-dum. Definitely help if I made these the right size to begin with. Okay, there you go. That's the end. That'll probably make a lot more sense than whatever the heck I was doing before. Oh, is this? No, this is not long enough either. Oh my god. It makes sense though, because the downhill was a little bit short. Okay, well, you know what? I'll redo these. I think I'm going to call it here then. It's a bit of a sneak peek at what I'm doing and what I've been doing for the past little while. But yeah, I have to redo these stupid railways again. I have to stretch all of them out because I forgot I stretched this one out like a tiny little bit to fit. But turns out the level ones are the same length as the angled ones. So all of them now I have to stretch out to like there. It's not a huge deal though. It's turning out pretty good. It's gonna take a long time to finish though. Still a lot of floors to do. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here for now. Short stream, but I do kind of like doing shorter streams. I like doing streams as more of teasers for things. Streaming for hours on end on some things just isn't that fun anyways. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a Merry Christmas if I don't stream for the next long time. And yeah.